Potential inverse head and shoulders on Bitcoin getting set up. Potentially, the bulls in this tug of war with the bears right now getting set up for a potential explosive move to the bull market doors. Once again, the lower high Fibonacci we talk about so much in this YouTube channel, ADA, on the monthly. We're going to do some very, very fun. I mean, I enjoy this. The speculation of the bull market, since it's fast approaching. We're going to do some visualization, some speculation on what the crypto bull market looks like, but specifically for Cardano, these charts, what it looks like. I'm going to show you exactly, and why the visualization of this is very important to start doing right now. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. I want to start with Bitcoin. This is a 4-hour that I'm going to dig into. I see a move here. It's not perfect, but it's a move. I think it's a pattern that's getting set up. It does not mean that we're going to get the move. As you know, on the daily chart, what we've been discussing nonstop is, and just look how grueling. It's not giving us any answers, Bitcoin. From when it started testing these moving averages, the 20-day in green, the 50-day in blue, right around January 28th, it's just been sideways. We haven't gotten an explosive move above and away. We're going to look at what it could look like. It's at the resistance right now. We're going to look at what it might look like, the explosive move and the setup that might lead to it. But just to, as a quick just refresher, the reason why it's so important is because a move for Bitcoin to even retest the bull market doors, the 618 area right here, that would be a first. But we're waiting to see when this move happens. If it happens and touches the 618 bull market doors before this halving, that would be huge for Bitcoin. And the move could be on this zoomed in 4-hour chart. And what I see here is this. And let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I'm the type of person, when I'm doing my technical analysis, I really enjoy nice, clean patterns. I do. But I also know that when I'm looking for patterns, what I'm really looking for is the story of the pattern. In this case, an inverse head and shoulders. If we look at it, a left shoulder right here, a left shoulder setup being pulled right back into kind of where Bitcoin is right now, just above 43,000 or so. The bears kind of stepped in, pulled it, and the bulls stepped back in, brought it to the head or to the neckline. Then the bears step in even stronger. This is why I say this tug of war. The inverse head and shoulders is truly like a tug of war. Same with the head and shoulders. Bears step in, bulls step in again back to the neckline area. They fail to break out. The bears step in, creating a right shoulder, but a little weaker this time than the head. The bulls step in again back to the neckline, and that's where we are right now. This is a shorter term. It's a 4-hour chart. Inverse head and shoulders, and breakout target is really right around $48,000 to $49,000. That's in play. Again, we're getting insane consolidation right now. This 4-hour move right here, if we just look at even just the setup of the right shoulder, it seems like a little, because it's a 4-hour chart, doesn't seem like a ton of time, but it's been since the end of January 29th. So it's really been like a week of just straight up sideways in terms of the consolidation for Bitcoin. So if the bulls can truly in the short term step up their game, we might be approaching key resistance areas. Obviously, the target to the upside is the bull market doors, which is huge. But we even have the shorter term, which we talked about, swing high to, I'm sorry, wrong tool there. It's the swing high at the bull market door resistance to swing low. It's the lower high Fibonacci on the very short term. It's 45,000 to around 46,700. The reason why I'm analyzing and watching for that to happen is just because that is something that actually happened in a previous cycle after hitting the 618. Bitcoin came down and it retested the lower high Fibonacci, and then it continued down. So that's in play. But this short-term move might be the setup for that to happen. One thing I do want to mention on Bitcoin is this. If we're looking at Bitcoin, again, in terms of this consolidation that's happening right now, this daily chart RSI is still consolidating. I'm waiting to see, because we have this 20-day, which crossed the 50, we had the pullback to the moving averages very nicely in a very similar manner where the 20 crossing below the 50 here, we had the pullback to those moving averages and the resistance really held up and Bitcoin went lower. We're looking to see if we get a similar bounce to the downside like we did on the RSI back then in May. And so far, it's just been really faking us out. We're not getting any immediate answers. It's been sideways for like a week on this RSI. So all the while, I'm waiting to see what Bitcoin can do, if it can see that breakout to the upside. But again, there's no guarantees. If the inverse head and shoulders does not play out, I will be looking at, this trend line down here, right around $40,000 or so, as that next area of support. If Bitcoin goes lower, we'll be monitoring that. Remember, that's that massive rising wedge, really the exit out of the bear market with a $70,000 target. Support at the $40,000 area is pretty critical. We're going to go over to ADA, and we're going to look at the ADA charts on the macro. We're going to visualize the bull market. I think it's very important to do that, even with more downside potentially in play in the short term. Before we hop into that, this is such a big piece for me. Regardless of what the charts look like, it's important for me specifically to understand what is going on, not just from a price perspective, but from a planning perspective. That's why I talk about visualization being important. Well, part of visualization is taxes, everybody. And today's sponsor of the video is Coinledger. They're usually a sponsor of CCV at this time of the season, an amazing sponsor, and an absolutely incredible product that if you're in crypto, you need to get signed up with them. This is how you set yourself up for success. You need to do taxes anyway. You have to do taxes. You want to do them right. Coinledger has the tools to do it. And what I want to discuss, obviously crypto tax is done in minutes. We're talking about being able to import all of your data, all of your accounts. You see the demo happening on the screen, Uniswap, Ethereum, Voyager, Binance, whatever it is, right? And it brings in your data and then it shows you your gains, short-term, long-term, tells you what your taxes look like, your tax situation looks like, and then you can brainstorm with your CPA. The reason why it's important, because we're about to look at this right now. We're about to speculate on basically this scenario, the next bull market. For me, if I'm trying to not only just plan this bull market and visualize it to be ready for it, in the similar way that I'm trying to always plan for bear markets and especially be mentally prepared for bear markets, if I'm going to really think about, man, what am I doing at $1.50 and then $3 and then in a bull market, ADA is breaking $5. If I'm taking profits in different stages, I have to have a grasp on what my tax situation is. The only way to do that is to have historical data of just where I am in terms of all the transactions I've done in crypto. And this isn't just related to ADA, but all of the transactions. Where is my tax situation currently? Even right now, where's my tax situation as I'm getting ready to plan for the next parabolic bull run so that I can make the plan, so that I can understand, okay, well, if this is my tax situation, right? When ADA gets to certain levels, and if I am taking profits, I will be able to understand what my tax situation looks like in these scenarios if I'm taking profits. If you're not doing that and you're just blindly taking profits, you're setting yourself up for failure. And if you're trying to do taxes and crypto taxes without using a software that's going to really help manage and get accurate pieces of data, I really think you're doing yourself a disservice. And again, you're setting yourself up for failure in terms of doing your taxes at least correctly. And if you're using Coinledger and getting all of this data, it's helping your CPA. If you have somebody doing your taxes, it's helping them to understand your tax situation better. And that's so important. So wanted to just mention that Coinledger, today's sponsor, hit the link below, 10% off, sign up with Coinledger. Not the last that you're going to be hearing about them on this YouTube channel for this season. So as we get ready to go into tax season, sign up with them. Now let's talk about it. I was basically, this is a weekly chart and this is a monthly. Right off the bat, you all know we've talked about consolidation, potential throwback, right, to the triangle. That would be normal. It would be very similar to this move that we had back here off of the swing high into the Shelly hard fork, all the way back down just above the 20-month moving average. 20-month moving average, just around 38 cents. You go over to the weekly chart. We look at the weekly chart. What's right around there too? 50-week moving average, right around 36 cents. The 20-week moving average, 43 cents. It's an area that ADA consolidated last time. Very similar move could happen this time. It's something I'm anticipating. But with that said, I've talked a lot about how this move that's happening in ADA right now is similar to this move. It's happening earlier this time, prior to the halving. Bitcoin, all of crypto is making this similar early powerful move. And I really wanted to just actually, because I was on the daily chart, let me change it to a daily chart. And I just wanted to look at, because I'm like, man, these moves look so similar. even so far, right? And we've been tracking it, the 20 crossing below the 50, 20 crossing below the 50. I wanted to see, and you can even see the 200, just trying to draw into those. A lot of consolidation happening, a lot more in play potentially. I was like, look how similar. And then I was like, what comes right after? It's the bull market. And I took the bars pattern and I said, you know what? Let's take it from the swing high of that move, obviously to swing low, and then into the bull market. And let me just chart it over. And it's not to say it's going to play out exactly the same, but just look at this. It gives kind of a two-piece story. One, in the short term, what we could be in for, more consolidation to the downside into the 30s. It's in play. It would be normal, as you can see. You can also see how it's happening sooner than the Bitcoin halving as opposed to after. But also notice this. This move, after this move, this was November 2020 right here. That's Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin was breaking the bull market doors. ADA was at like 15 cents. And look how far after halving that move was. Look at the move this time around speculatively. It's around Bitcoin halving, maybe just after. It is so much sooner this time. And this gives us a really good idea. Man, ADA could be at like 60, 70 cents as Bitcoin's breaking the bull market doors. It could be lower. It could be higher. It's speculation at this point. But look how much higher this part of the cycle compared to this part of the cycle, right? Even right now, as ADA is consolidating in kind of the halfway point of this consolidation move back here, ADA was around 12 cents. Right now, it's 50 cents. And so this caused me to be like, you know what? These levels, right? These mental levels, 50 cents, $1. What was happening last time? So I noticed last cycle when ADA was making a run to the upside, you can just see how if we go to 50 cents, right where ADA is right now, ADA just blew through 50 cents. And so once it flew through 50 cents, there was this $1 area of consolidation. I don't know if you remember how choppy and unsure it was at that moment, but $1 for a while. This cycle around, if we actually go and look, I really think the dollar area, this cycle around, is going to be very similar to the 50 cent area last cycle around, meaning I don't think ADA will struggle or hang out around $1 as long as it did last time, and even want to test it as support as long as it did last time. I think $1, there could be a bit of a consolidation, a bit of resistance when it's approaching that area, but I think ADA will escape it sooner than later when it does get there, right? And speculatively, this is looking at like the summer of 2024, summer of this year, potentially happening. You can take a bars pattern and you can say, you know what? I think it's going to be even earlier and just more crazy bull cycle. Or we can just say, you know what? It's not going to be as crazy. It's just not going to be as crazy. It's going to take longer, right? You can do whatever you want with the bars pattern, depending on how you want to visualize. But either way, you can see the potential move for the next bull market. And for me, when I do this, and the same is true when we're speculating on a bear market, you can go back to that first bear market back here and you can speculate, right? If we're in this last bull market, we can start speculating, man, we might be topping out soon. What's the bear market going to look like? And just look at that. Look how nice that would have been to use the data from this bear market as we're going into all-time highs to plot it here and say, you might be in for this. Are you ready? Doing the same exact thing right now, preparing for the next bull cycle and saying, we might be in for this. Are you ready? That's all we're doing. And for me, that helps me plan from so many different perspectives, profit taking, mental perspectives, right? Tax perspectives, all of these different perspectives. So I wanted to visualize it real quick. I think I might do a full-length video talking more about this, spending a little bit more time breaking it down and really talking about the story that might be unfolding during the next bull market and all the other things happening in crypto during that time. So those are my thoughts, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like. I will see you all in the next video. Have an awesome day. God bless.